Oh boy, I haven't done one of these in a while. So, NBA All-Star 2021. This was one of the All-Star games that I was actually really looking forward to, coming off of the last All-Star game, which was, in my opinion, the pinnacle of All-Star games. Like, that game, if you watched it, for those of you who did watch it, that thing got intense. It was almost like a playoff game. And I feel like that is something that the All-Star games in recent years, except for 2021, and maybe about 2016 too, really just lack. If there's no reason to actually watch the All-Star game, like let's say it's a retiring players or a retiring legend, like Kobe Bryant, for example, the one in 2016, if that's not a legend's last All-Star game, then there's really no reason to watch it. I've become a bit disillusioned with the All-Star game, especially ever since like 2017, because there's just no reason to watch it anymore. The only reason why I caught the 2020 All-Star game was because everybody was blowing up about it on Twitter, saying that this was one of the best All-Star games ever, and I could agree. Now, I have a couple of reasons as to why the All-Star game isn't even good anymore, and one of those reasons is because it's not fun to watch anymore. I remember in 2016 watching Kobe's last All-Star game, and no, I'm not gonna make this whole entire video about Kobe, but it is a big point. Kobe's last All-Star game gave me a reason to watch it, not only because it was Kobe's last All-Star game, but they also made it entertaining. The skills challenge that year was pretty entertaining, and having it take place in Toronto didn't really add anything to the All-Star game, but it was a nice change in scenery. I think it was one of the first times that Toronto even hosted the All-Star games, so it was nice to see. And you know, I really just can't help but think that Kobe himself, even in his last All-Star game, oh boy, this again? You know, because it probably was boring for him too. I feel like he only made like a couple of shots anyways in his last appearance, but regardless, it was a nice send-off. Now, the viewership of the NBA has been on the decline in recent years, especially when it comes to the All-Star game, pretty much for the same reasons that I just listed. There's nothing new, and there's nothing ever going to be added to the All-Star game. I really don't think there is, because the skills challenge, I think that was one of the newer additions to the All-Star weekend. I don't know per se when it was added, but it's one of the more recent ones. And you know, the NBA has done a good job in giving the fans some service, in the fact that this year was one of the years that they had the All-Star game at an HBCU, which is a historically black college, which is important to a lot of the NBA players, and it was really nice. You know, that's all fine and dandy, but your All-Star game still sucks, and I feel like the viewership is still going to be on the steady decline until you fix something. And for a multi-billion-dollar corporation like the NBA to have all of these different events leading up to the main event, because when you think about it, they have the Rising Stars Challenge on, I think, Friday, and then they have like the Celebrity Game, they have the 3-Point Challenge, and then the Skills Challenge, and then the All-Star Game on Sunday. And all of these things collectively have billions of views. Now, that's not the problem. The problem is your main event sucks. If it's just the same people every year getting voted into the All-Star Game to do nothing but dunk and just lay up and just lay the ball up without a care in the world, it's not fun. Like, at this point, I'd rather go watch WNBA basketball, and that's a serious problem. You know that it's bad when a person who really likes basketball would rather watch WNBA basketball. Now, that's not a shot to any women out there. Who am I kidding? Yes, it is. But still, it's getting to the point where I really don't like basketball anymore, just because of this stupid All-Star game. This is something that I think players around the league were waiting for, or have been waiting for. They wait to become All-Stars every year, especially the new players, the rookies, and then the sophomores. And they do get their shot every once in a while if they're good enough, but it all amounts to nothing when the All-Star game just doesn't match the same intensity or viewership numbers as the previous year. And like I said before, the real sad part about it is that nothing can be done to fix it. At least I don't think so. Adding new things like, I don't know, the skills challenge, you know, that was cool and everything, but doing that again isn't gonna be easy, especially since you have to come up with ideas that'll encapsulate your audience, and that's something that the NBA struggles with already. I mean, people who aren't really that diehard of NBA fans won't sit there and watch the whole game. They'll sit there and wait until their fantasy league updates, or they win some money off of a bet off of a game that just happened. And I don't know, maybe one way they could fix it is, I mean, you get the worst players in the NBA, like the real scrubs. I'm talking people like JJ Redick and basically all of the Knicks roster, and put them up against like WNBA players. And I'm talking about the best WNBA players, which, I mean, could be a matchup. I mean, when you really think about it, the best WNBA player is about half as good as the mediocre NBA player. So you put them up against scrubs in the NBA, you might have yourself another 2020 All-Star game. But that's neither here nor there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.